Hi and welcome to the Develop Cookery channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make an absolutely delicious roast beef gravy. So previously I did a video on how to make the ultimate Yorkshire puddings. Well, this is kind of a follow-on from that, and today I'm going to show you, as part of that roast beef dinner, how to make an absolutely delicious roast beef gravy. As usual, a full list of ingredients will be given at the end of the video, so let's have a look at those ingredients now and anything else we're going to need for today. So the ingredients for our roast beef gravy: got a litre of beef stock, got some salt and pepper to season the gravy with. Optional extra is gravy browning. So we do like our roast beef gravy to be a certain shade of brown, so depending on how this turns out, we may use some gravy browning, we may not. And I've got 2 level tablespoons of plain flour, and then the main ingredient is obviously what's in the tray. So this is where our roast beef sat. Roast beef joint is now resting, so rest that for a minimum of half an hour before we slice it, and that gives us obviously enough time to do the gravy. So I will do a video on how to do roast beef, but basically what's in this pan is 2 carrots which have been washed, not peeled, and cut quite thickly, 2 sticks of celery, again cut in quite large chunks. Got some shallots, about 6 shallots which have been halved. Obviously you can use onion, just make sure it's nice and thickly cut. 2 whole cloves of garlic and 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary which I've taken from the garden. Roast beef joint is sat on the top once it's been seared in the pan, and that keeps the roast beef off the pan itself, so it stops it from touching it and actually burning the underside of the roast beef, but also it allows all of those flavours off the roast beef to get into the vegetables, and obviously this is what we're left with. So the first thing we do, I've taken our oven tray, placed it onto a very low heat, just waiting until the juices in that pan just start to heat up and simmer. Haven't taken any oil out of the pan at all because we're going to be adding in our plain flour, and we want the plain flour to mix in with the oil, create a roux, and that is what's going to help thicken the gravy. So as those juices heat up, we'll add in our plain flour, just mix this in, and then we want to cook this through for about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so now we just want to add in our beef stock, just a little bit at a time. Okay, so once we've added our stock, what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this uncovered, simmering very gently for about half an hour. So it may seem like a lot of stock here, but what's going to happen over that half an hour period is that stock is going to reduce, it's going to thicken, and it's going to take on a really intense flavour, and that's the key. So after half an hour, this is what we've got. The stock's reduced down, starts to thicken up, and obviously the vegetables have softened. So the next thing to do is just turn the heat out. I'm just going to take a fork, and with the back of the fork just break down this veg just a little bit. Now you see on YouTube some of the top chefs in the country will use a potato masher, but I don't want to break this veg down too much because I've tried that method and it tends to add just too much of an earthy taste to the gravy. Of course, what do I know though, just being a keen cook, but I much prefer just to break it down gently, still leave some whole pieces, and as I said, that way the gravy doesn't become sort of too earthy in flavour. So once we've broke that veg down a little bit, next thing to do is I've got a saucepan with a sieve in the top. and we just want to pass this gravy through the sieve. So once we've sieved the gravy into a saucepan, next thing to do is just to bring it up to a gentle simmer, and then just taste for seasoning. And just a tiny bit of salt, I think. And that'll do. As far as colour goes, as I said before, the gravy browning was an optional extra. I don't think it needs any gravy browning at all. I think it's a perfect colour. And then the actual thickness of the gravy, I think that's perfect as well. So there you go, absolutely delicious roast beef gravy. So together with the Yorkshire pudding video that I've done previously, I think this is going to become a little bit of a mini series covering all aspects of the perfect roast beef dinner. So please subscribe to the channel to get notified of those videos, and if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching.